had no idea I was actually going to win this competition. I won the competition. So when I heard the fifth person, the fourth person, and I didn't hear my name, I was like, well, we tried. At least our idea made top 10. So they went ahead, mentioned the third position, the second position, and then they said, and the winner, the first position, and they mentioned my name. Whoa! Well, hello and good morning. Today I'm out quite early. It's barely 6 o'clock. The sky is just clearing up and I'm out. I had a very rough night. I didn't sleep quite well, and so it's one of the reasons why I'm up that early. I just started out and almost immediately I'm seeing the familiar faces on my route, which means I've been missed. So yeah, we're going to try and get in our 10,000 steps today as usual. And today I have a very interesting topic on my mind that I would like to talk about. I finished my first degree somewhere in 2009. Yeah, I'm that old. I studied economics and geography at the University of Ghana. And when I finished my first degree, for the short time I was waiting to do my national service in the house, I kept wondering, I kept thinking, what would I do in my life? Like, what was I going to do with my life? Because economics, these social sciences, when you do them, because it's quite broad. You are not so, I wasn't so sure where I wanted to, what career I wanted to pursue. And within that period, I waited for my national service. I mean, I thought about it a lot. During my national service, I was considering, doing project management. But when I looked at the project management handbook, I think it was called a PEM book or whatever it was. I don't know what it's called now. I said, no, this is not for me. The reason why I knew this was not for me was because in my mind, I was looking for something that I would instantly fall in love with, and doing it will be effortless. And so, yeah, I discarded it very, very, very quickly. But within that same period, I think social media, Facebook was out there, it was getting very popular. It was popular, and a lot of people were, signing up for accounts. But I immediately found a need or some sort of gap. I realized that businesses also needed profiles. And so I remember that the very first profile that I created for a business, actually at that point that I was creating that profile, I created a personal profile because pages hadn't been created. That feature hadn't been created yet. So I just went ahead and created a personal profile for a business. And so I experimented with my own business. And then I created the profile. But very quickly, I realized or I understood that there's something that I would love to do, helping brands put their businesses on social media. And it's something that I explored quite quickly, learning the ins and outs of social media. And I remember that as the months wore on, as the years went by, I quickly became known in my circles as, the social media guy, a guy who knew a lot about social media. And when people ask me, how come I knew so much about social media, I'll say to them that what more fun could there be than working in a place that you're supposed to be having fun at? Yeah, so that's how come I quickly grew skills in social media. I learned about the platforms. I spent a lot of time. When I say a lot of time, I spent a lot of time over there. I'm just trying to say that there are skills that along in life you don't learn in school. You learn based off your interests and your passions and things that you love. And these things that you learn along the way, pick up, or you decide to pursue, can become something very, very powerful for your life. Even probably sometimes even more powerful than the structured educational pursuits, or the system that you go through education. I mean, the career you choose, you learn in school and decide to pursue. Now, through the same social media, trying to become a master in it, I got my very first contract with a tech company. I was introduced to this tech company by two friends who were a couple that I knew, who were very enthused about the fact that I'd become the social media guy. So I was introduced to this tech company, and very quickly, I landed my first social media management gig. I managed their profile for them, grew the account, and the more I did, the better I got. I remember developing their first social media report for them at the end of the month, and they were just blown away. They were so excited and happy about what I'd done. And I think at a point, they even invited me to become part of their team. So I was acting as an external consultant or whatever. But they were so impressed that they invited me to come on board and become part of their team. But I had to turn it down because I was already engaged full-time in another company. So I was just doing this on the side. Now fast forward, for this main company that I was working for, something fantastic happened. So one day, this company sends a memo out and calls on all staff that you're looking for innovative ideas to help the company. And if you have any innovative idea that would help the company, write your proposal and then bring it on board. So I thought, this is a very big company, and I'm not going to mention the name of the company. I mean, if I mention it, instantly. It's a very, very big company, and they are in environmental services. That's all I can see. So I said, wow, this company could need some help with their social media. They are not using social media for corporate communications, and at that point, social media was becoming a thing for businesses. So I wrote my proposal, and then I put it in the, we had a box. We had a information box at our regional offices. So I put it in. Now, a couple of weeks go by, I go to the box to check out what's happening. And my idea is the only idea in the box, sealed in an envelope. I was like, man, are people even taking this call for innovation seriously? Like, nobody is putting in any ideas. Should I take my idea out? Because it looks like nothing is going on. And then on the day I'll try to take out the idea, my boss says, no, leave it. I mean, what do you have to lose? If they call you, fine. If they don't call, I mean, you've got nothing to lose. Just leave the proposal in the box. So I left it. Now, fast forward a couple of months later, I was out on the field doing my work, and then I got a call. Mind you, by this time my role at that time was in operations. So I was working in operations, and then I got a call and I was asked, is this George? I say, yeah. I say, your idea has been shortlisted. So we'd like you to come to the head office and come and tell us a bit more about your idea. I said, thank you. That was fantastic news. I was over the moon. I was excited. So on the day of the said meeting, I dressed up, drove over to the head office, and then I was ushered to a room. And in that room, there were 10 other individuals, and we were briefed that there had been over 200 submissions, idea submissions, and then we were the top 10. At that point, my knees were weak. My knees got weak. I got scared. I got so scared. I was like, wow, this idea has come this far. The idea that I almost took out and threw away. So the purpose for our gathering there was to defend our idea. There was a panel of judges we were supposed to present our ideas to the panel of judges and to everybody that was present. Explain further how we're going to implement the idea. So one by one, everybody goes, they stand before the judges and the audience, and they present the idea. Now, I don't know how the order of presentation was done, but I happened to be the last guy to present. And guys, I was just so nervous. My mind was running all over the place. Like, I was so nervous. So one by one, everybody took their turn, and then finally it was my turn. And mind you, the nature of our company's business was very technical. It is a business in the environmental services, so a lot of the things that we do is quite technical. And so most of the guys who did their presentation, the other 9, were very technical ideas. But the judges had a criteria for judging what the best idea was: ease of implementation, costs, and a couple of other parameters. So I stood in front of them, and then I presented my idea of how to use social media for corporate communication. So that was my idea. And as you can tell, this is not a very technical, well, in a certain sense, but technical as to the environmental services, that it was not. It was just a technical idea in communications, I would put it that way. So I presented my idea, summed up courage from wherever it came from, stood confidently and delivered my presentation. And I went to sit down. So after the presentation was done, waited a couple more minutes. I think we went out for lunch, came back, and the judges had already made their decision. So the judges said they were going to mention the winners from, the top 5 winners. We were going to mention the top 5 winners from the bottom up. They started mentioning the winners. Number 5, they would mention who won the 5th position. Number 4, they would mention who won the 4th position. I mean, at number 4, number 5, I said to myself, well, I didn't make top 5. Not that I didn't believe in myself, I did, but at that point in my life, I didn't believe my idea was that good to even get into top 3. I mean, come on. So when I heard the 5th person, the 4th person, and I didn't hear my name, I was like, well, we tried. At least our idea made top 10. So they went ahead, mentioned the 3rd position, the 2nd position, and then they said, and the final, the winner, the 1st position, and they mentioned my name. Whoa! Look, I was over the moon. Like, I went berserk. Like, I had no idea I was actually going to win this competition. I won the competition. So the top 3 winners lined up in front of everybody. The CEO of the company comes, tells everybody, well done. And by the way, I won 3,000 Ghana cedis in cash. I was presented a big check, those big plaques, the checks, yeah. Let's give you my cash prize was 3,000 Ghana cedis. And this was in 2014. It was 2014, more than 10 years ago. It was a life-changing event for me that day. And to top it up, the CEO of the company comes and says, there's a conference in Birmingham that year, and he wants the top 3 winners to attend this conference in Birmingham in the United Kingdom. And at that point in my life, I've never traveled before, and I went even more wild. It was just crazy. So in September of that year, after collecting my cash prize, I also traveled with my other colleagues to the UK for the first time, and that was something else. Yesterday, my battery died rather early, and my phone battery died very early, so I couldn't record my final steps back home from my walk. Today, my battery is charged, my phone's battery is charged, but I realized that this camera's battery is quite on the low. I was copying off the files from the previous video, and for some reason it didn't charge. So maybe today's video might be a bit short, but I've said what I want to say and what I wanted to share with you guys. How, you know, a passion that you have can lead you to learn a life-changing skill. All right, guys, it's a wrap. I'm heading back home. 10,000 steps completed. I'll see you tomorrow. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Bye.